You're listening to KFWB News Talk 980. My name is Les Brown, and we come your way Monday through Friday from 2 o'clock until 4 o'clock. And this program is designed to expand your mindset, to transform your skill set, and to create communities of greatness. I don't know you, but here's what I know about you just based upon my own experience. You've got something special. You've got greatness within you. But unfortunately, because we're so bombarded with negativity day in and day out, most people go to their graves never discovering their greatness. Most people give up on themselves. If you're just tuning in, I was talking about waking up this morning and looking at the newspaper, getting just a glimpse of an article where a mother drove herself and her children into a lake and killed her kids and herself, and fortunately one miraculously got away. I was talking to a friend of mine saying, how could she do that? And my friend surprised me and she said, I can understand quite well how she did it. I don't agree with it, but I can understand how you can get to that place. And she talked to me and told me that she is a professional, and I know that, and I would have never thought these words would come out of her mouth. And she said, let's just imagine, I've been involved in church and helping people and praying for people and as a volunteer and as a social worker and working with families. And here I was asking myself, came home one day from work, and I asked myself, how did I get into this situation? She's in an unhealthy marriage, a victim of domestic abuse. She didn't talk to anybody about it, didn't let her family know. No one knew. It was her secret. She said, how did I get here? And the fact that she had money, the fact that she was educated, the fact that she was attractive and successful and had all the trimmings of being happy, she said at that moment, she said she just was tired and she wanted to end it all. And fortunately, she had the radio on and somebody was on talking about this situation. And she said, hey, that was me. That was me. And she said that's what pulled her back. And so we're asking you, have you ever been in that place? And what pulled you back? What interrupted that moment? The number to call is 888-539-2980. That's 888-539-2980. I want to hear your story. You're going to help somebody. 888-539-2980. Now, Michelle, when I look at your story here, Michelle, you just give me goosepimples. You wrote a suicide note, Michelle?
Yes, sir.
What was going on with you?
You know, I was having a lot of trouble for a lot of years. Had just had some traumatic things happen in my life and felt like I was just ready to go home and be with God and not feel that pain anymore. And what it came from was just something emotionally in me that I was lacking. And it wasn't until I started believing in myself and understanding how many people I would truly hurt. And like you talk about all the time, the gifts that God has given you that you can tap into. And I was deep in a hole for many years, like being at the bottom of a well, and I could see the top. And I would try to climb up, and every time I'd fall back down, and I was just so emotionally exhausted. And meanwhile, I had all these wonderful people around me that God had put in my life, and, you know, they believed in me, but I didn't believe in myself. And it wasn't until I realized that after writing that note and slipping it underneath my mattress and my parents having to come in and find me and read that note, that I just couldn't do that to the greatest people in the world that brought me into this life. And I would have broken their heart, and that is not worth it.
Wow. What was happening to you that brought you to that place?
You know, I had a lot of things in my childhood, some situations, but I think most of all, I think I was allowing myself to be a victim and just of kind of blaming others for the problems that I was going through. And what you have to realize is you got to take control of your own life. And when you start doing that and you start believing what God is telling you about yourself and not the things that have happened to you, you got to happen to the world, not to let the world happen to you. Wow. And I am so thankful for people like you on the radio. I am inspired. I get goosebumps every time I listen to you, and I just want to be one of those people that can inspire other people, because it does get better. When you're in the moment, you never, ever think it will get better, but it does, and I am a true testament to tell you that life is good and God is good, and He never gives you anything you can't handle. Right,
and you say it does get better. How do you handle difficult situations now?
You know, I used to get really angry and sad, and I would kind of internalize that, but I've just realized that God has placed those wonderful people in my life. And at the time when I was so depressed, I didn't really tap into that and listen to them, and I didn't take the advice that they were giving me and the love and the caring that God was placing around me. But now I do that, and I realize that there's people that care about me, and I believe in myself, and I know that I'm capable of so many things. And I have to tell you that every single day when I wake up, my life is a true blessing, and I never, ever want to take advantage of that or be ungrateful. I am so appreciative of every breath I take and every step I take that God has given me another chance. I truly feel like I have another chance.
Hey, Michelle, you're a blessing to the world. And because you were born, the world will be a better place. Thank you so much. You are an encourager. You are light in a very dark world, okay?
You got to keep going, and it's people like you that we really appreciate, and just keep on spreading your positive message.
Okay, thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you, sir.
Bye now. The number to call is 888-539-2980, 888-539-2980. Henry, thank you so much for calling in. Henry, you had a low point in your life, and what happened at that point?
Well, that was, it actually came to a point, I was one of these really quiet kids in high school, didn't cause much trouble. I actually got into a very hard, heated discussion, actually argument. It turned into a shouting match with one of my teachers. And one of the priests at the school was walking by, and I just, at a given point, the teacher made some sort of point, says, I don't care, I want to die now, and I want to die quick, and I want to take as many people with me as possible. The priest heard that, and pulled me out of the classroom immediately. And that started a 3-hour discussion, where he, all the standard lines, you're going to hurt your mother, you have great potential, you're throwing around and wasting it, all of which made sense to me, but they weren't the deal closers. It wasn't enough. And finally, after towards the end of that 3-hour discussion, he just kind of leaned forward, said, and just kind of almost in a conspiratorial whisper, so you're just going to let them win.
Wow. Are you going to just let them win?
Yeah.
And what did you say?
It kind of hit me like a sledgehammer right there.
Yes. Wow, man. And that was a turning point for you. That was the interruption that you needed.
Turning point, and it nearly broke my neck.
Oh, wow. Man, you are graphic. Why don't you just really say it, Henry? Listen, we're going to break for a commercial. I appreciate your calling in, and I'm so glad that he's whispered those words to you, because you're an asset to the planet, and you're a blessing to all of us with your story. God bless you. Thank you so much for calling.
Thank you.
You take care. The number to call is 888-539-2980, 888-539-2980. We're talking about when you've been at the brink and what pulled you back. Call me. My name is Les Brown. You're listening to KFWB News Talk 980.